I like.
All right, so good afternoon. It's pleasant way to welcome you to once again this live interview. My name is Prince Moba. I'm here at the main campus of the University of Liberia, where I have come to speak with university students to tell me how does it affect them when the university closed, based on strike action by faculty members. And also, what's the overall assessment of the governance process of the United Party government? We are in the 7th month of the government now. This is July. And I'm also going to be asking them what do they make of the action by some members of the legislature, specifically the House of Representatives, to ride on Keke to work in protest of delayed benefits, specifically vehicles that the government of Liberia is supposed to purchase for them in its budget year. And they were at the Capitol building about 3 days ago displaying those kekes and then expressing that frustration of the government of the delayed vehicles. So I'm right here once again. My name is Prince. This is Focus on Liberia Television. Share the video. Invite someone to watch along with you. Before me is a gentleman. I'm taking the camera to him now to speak with him and tell me exactly what does it make of those talking points. My brother, good afternoon. Welcome to Focus on Liberia. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
What is your name, sir?
My name is Chris Dagbe.
Okay.
A senior student at the University of Liberia. Right. I'm reading economics with emphasis in management.
Great. So tell me something about this issue of continual closing of the University of Liberia. You experienced that just when you're about to do your final exams. 1 week to the exam or 2 weeks to the exam, you had to sit in for like 2 weeks. You resume classes on Monday. Tell me, how does it affect? What's your own? Thinking about that. How does it? What comes to your mind when it happens each time?
All right. Thank you for the opportunity given to me. But I think in my mind, the issue about instructors disengaging from classes, I think it has a negative impact on we the students, because you take, for instance, the entire program for BSc candidate at this university goes for 4 years. And then each year we are to run about 2 semesters. So if we are not to run a 2 semester in a year, it has a negative impact on we the students. For me, I think that personally as a student of economics, time is our major enemy, because every time that passes by you, you don't get it back. So the issue about instructor going on strike, disengaging from class because of demands for administrations, in my mind, I feel that it has a negative impact on us. Let's take for example and be so practical. We are in 2024, and then we are just beginning to end semester 2 for 2022-2023. So when are we going to start the new semester for 2023-2024? That makes us to be backward. Let us take other university as an instance. You have Stella Maris, you have AMEU. These universities are climaxing their first semester to go on break, and then they will be beginning their second semester. We are just ending second semester of last year. So when are we going to run semester 1 for this year? And there are some of our comrades who are just doing few courses to graduate. I'm doing a course with one of my comrades, Econ 414. He's only doing that course to exit this university. But because of the strike and the go slow by instructors, now the graduation has been pushed to September.
What is responsible for that? What can you attribute that to?
Well, the instructors are complaining about their salaries and benefits, which of course, I don't have much information about that. Okay. But I do believe is that it's not necessary that every minute, every second that they should disengage from classes. There are some of us who enrolled at these universities in 2017, 2018. Because of massive protests and then instructors disengaging from classes, they have made some of us to overstay at this university.
Okay, great. So the next question I'd like to ask you is, as student of economics and senior student of the University of Liberia, what's your overall assessment of the Waka Kun government since January of this year?
I like the question. The overall performance of this Waka Kun government. While it is true that some constraint based on 1 or 2 reasons best known to the government, but for me, I think this government came to power with the mindset of bringing liberation to the Liberian people, because the Liberians thought that former President Weah had failed them, so they had no alternative but to muse President Boyka to rescue them. That's why they came to the Liberian people with a motive of a rescue mission. So for a rescuer to come to power, instead of him rescuing the Liberian people, instead he is rescuing himself. Let's look at the national budget.
How do you explain that, rescue himself?
Rescue himself. When I say rescuing himself, I'm going to explain myself. Okay, let's take for instance. How can a government who claims to rescue the Liberian people have a huge amount allotted to the executive? And then one main reason why people voted this government was on the basis of the harmonization policy that were introduced by the past government. There was a common saying during the campaign time that you harmonize my salary, I will harmonize your vote. Now, these same people who complain about their salary being harmonized, the budget has been drafted, it has been approved by the legislature, increment in this salary of the civil servant. Now, I've read the budget. I observed that there was massive increment in the executive branch, a massive increment in the legislature, but the judiciary branch of government, there was no increment. I listened to one of the spokespersons.
Is that increment in the legislature budget?
Yes, massive increment.
So I mean, I don't want to push up. Can you call the figure if you can? No problem.
I won't be exact, but what I saw of recent is that in the draft budget for the legislature, you have something like 38.3 million that were allotted in the draft budget. Because you have the budget as draft and you have it as approved after it has been discussed by the legislature. So after the budget was approved, we observed that it went from 38.3 million to 53.8 million. What's the justification of that? What is the justification of that increment? There's a government that claims that they have come to rescue the Liberian people. So if you want to prioritize anybody as a rescuer, you should rescue the Liberian people who are living in actual poverty. So I think that they are trading in some error.
On the overall, what can you say? I mean,
President Boyka is a very good president. I've always admired him. I think he can make a difference. But what I want to encourage people, while it is true that they have some missteps, but we can give them the clue that we can give them time.
Great.
We'll do that best. I show that this president is a president of wisdom. He can make it have a comeback.
Finally, I don't know whether you follow social media and the various news outlets where members of the legislature, the lower house to be specific, are riding on keke to go to work on grounds that their vehicles been delayed. What do you make of that? I mean, it has created some public outcry. A lot of debates about that.
I saw that on OKFN, and then my comment that I made there, I will use my comment as my beginning statement. And I said, this too is Liberia where the unusual always happen. Now, I agree that the budget is a law which is passed by the legislature, and this legislature is also responsible to make allocations of finances to all line ministries and agencies of government, including the executive. So from us, we Liberians, to see our lawmakers protested for 45,000 per lawmaker to buy a car, it's a disservice to the Liberian people. You still have Liberians who are living in actual poverty. How can a single lawmaker ride a car that worth 45,000? Where are you going with that car? You complain about people being living in poverty. Why can't we try to liberate some of our Liberians who are living in poverty? I listened to a police officer, he's a patrol officer. He said on the average, a police officer earns 120 United States dollars. Why can $100 United States you do for an individual who has family, who is paying rent, who has to buy food for his family, sending his children to school?
The Keke riding signifies their anger against the executives.
For me, in my mind, if I were the president, I would even tell them to use even tricycle or maybe motorcycle, because that Keke is small. Why should you even use that as a form of protest? Now, the essence of a lawmaker, the legislature, they have three cardinal functions. They are lawmaking, oversight, and representation. They are there to represent the Liberian people, not their own personal interest. So why will you be demanding for something that only benefits you rather than the masses that you represent? So I think in my mind that would be very, very disservice to the Liberian people.
Great. Your name again?
I'm Chris Dagbe.
That was disservice to the Liberian people. I'm taking the camera to another gentleman. Can I talk to you, my brother? How you doing?
I'm a free, nobody hold me.
All right, yeah. How you doing, my brother? Okay, what's your name?
My name is Marcus Maurice.
Okay, welcome to this live broadcast. You have to be audible so that we can hear you louder. So, what do you make of the constant closer of this university that you're part of? If I tell me which college are you in and what are you reading here?
I'm a junior student reading economics at the university here. And the constant close of the university has been something that is very much happening and very much it affect with the students greatly. That is, we came with the set mind of obtaining a BSc in a period of 4 years time. But unfortunately, we continue to be faced with these issues where after 2-3 weeks we'll have to close classes because of the administration going on strike, and it caused hamburg for our learning process.
Okay, great. So what do you think is responsible for that? What do you hear in the corridor of this university sometimes? When they close school, what can they say? What can you hear?
Well, this is something that I think it's a stone age problem. I think this is a stone age problem, something that the university has suffered long times back. And I think what should be done is that they should try to solve some of these problems in order to get the learning process smooth for every other Liberian.
Great. So the second question I'd like to ask you is, I don't know whether you follow government and governance. We went through elections. The CDC government was removed through the ballot papers or the ballot boxes, and then the Joseph Boaga government came to power. It was inaugurated in January of this year. What's your reading of this Boaga government as a student of this university and student of economics?
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to say this was a transition period, and you see, every time there is a transition, things changes, and it gave, it takes time to fix, right? There were some things that were in place by the past government, and that wasn't right, that caused the Liberian people to vote the past government up. And this government coming to power, they actually came to solve some of those things in order to put the country on path. Right. So whatever government it would have been, it would still have to go through this channel in order to get things straightened up. So, rating this government, I think they are trying their best, but I think it is still soon to start the grading at this time.
What do you make of others who feel that the government is on a wrong trajectory? I mean, there's this famous word that they always use, old wine in new bottles. What do you make of that?
Well, I would say that's their view.
Okay.
I would say that's their view. Everybody entitled to their own view. So that's how they think. That's how they think about the government, right? And we'll be saying that same old wine in new bottle. Yes, that's something that's natural in Liberia. We recycle our politicians based on our own thought and our own relationship. We feel like, and maybe it's almost like how we conduct our election. We don't vet our leaders. We only put them to power because maybe they made my uncle, or I've been knowing that he lives in the community and stuff like that. But we don't go through the proper vetting to know if this man is qualified enough to be our leader, or what can he do, what can he change, or what change can he bring to the country. We don't go through that process.
Great. Yes. Finally, as I take leave of you and get to another colleague here, I don't know whether you follow social media or you saw some of the posts or the radio station reporting members of the House of Representatives riding keke to work. In their tone or in their voices, they are protesting against the executive for failure or delayed in, procuring and purchasing vehicles for them, which were approved in the 2024 national budget. How do you describe that idea? What's your reading about that? What's come to mind if you see that on social media? You see lawmakers doing that?
Okay, honestly, right? For the lawmakers, especially with that particular protest, for me, I take serious exception to that.
Okay.
The lawmakers we got out there, they are being very much biased. All right, they are actually maltreating the Liberian people. That is, they were actually elected to go out there and represent the Liberian people, to solve some problems that the citizens are faced with. But instead, they are interests. Take for example, we have 105 lawmakers, and each of them protesting for a car that worth 45,000 times 45,000 by 105 lawmakers. That's a good sum of money.
The argument is in the budget. It's passed. So
Yes,
we need it.
it's in the budget, yes. So so as rational people looking at the economic constraint, looking at what the citizens that they went to represent are going through, looking at the educational status, looking at the health status, looking at agriculture, looking at these cardinal things, and they're going to represent the Liberian people. I think in their own wisdom, though the law is there, all right, the law is there, law is written, but looking at the society status, I think that they should be rational enough to work some things that will interest the Liberian people.
So that action, how do you describe it?
I describe the action of being very biased, being very wicked to the Liberian people.
Thank
in
you, sir.
every aspect, they've been very wicked to the Liberian people.
Your name again?
I'm Marcus Dalloway.
Okay, let me talk to one person for now, close up. My name is Prince, folks. This is Focus on Liberia TV. We're here at the grounds of the Capitol building. Me campus just comes up because of the reflection. Me campus here at the University of Liberia. I'm speaking with university students to tell me, to ask them three questions to tell me how do they feel about them. One is the continual closure of the University of Liberia. I see maybe aware the UL, this university was closed about 2 weeks or so. When instructors and faculties went on strike action in demands of salary and other benefits. The classes have resumed. It's on Monday. I've come to speak to them on that. I'm also asking them about their own assessment, their own rating, their own grading of the Buakai school government in the first 6-7 months now. And also, what do they make of some members of the legislature, merely the House of Representatives, riding on Keke to work? Good afternoon. How you doing? What's your name?
Oh, I'm okay.
You gotta be audible.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm okay. My name is Afade Ba, and I'm a student of the University of Liberia, reading public administration, emphasis on management.
Great. Welcome to Focus on Liberia TV.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So, I mean, you were closed a few days ago. The university was closed. You resumed classes. I think this come Monday. Tell me, how does the act of closing the university, how does it affect you as a student of the university, as a librarian, youth coming up, the entire educational system? Give me your own perspective.
So that's a negative implications on the lives of the student at the university campus.
Okay.
Everyone you interview and you ask them such a question, they will tell you that it has a very bad implication. That is, like the other police who you are interviewing.
Why?
Like the other police, some of us will leave from high school after we have graduated 12th grade. We come to the mindset of spending 4 years to see our best before our education going to have our master. But unfortunately for us, when we come here, due to the poor management of the administration, at the end of the day, we experience that students are supposed to go for 4 years, we end up going for 7, 8, 9 years, which of course is bad. It causes delay and allow other people to even spend more time in school. So that's a bad implications of our life, especially with the student.
What is responsible for that?
What is responsible? So when it comes to that aspect, I just talk about the management, poor management, where we have people here who serve as president, and some of them pass through the rank and file of the university, understands the happening of that is the challenges and the situation that students are faced with. They spend 14, 15 years here, they understood all of those challenges. By the end of the day, when they are sent to the positions, what we expect them to be able to perform in meeting or mitigating all of those challenges that students have been faced with, that they are aware of. By the end of the day, they fail to meet those challenges. And another reason for that purpose of the instructor putting down a pen or refusing to come to class has to do with the people's salary. If you follow the recent interview or the press statement came from offer, they put came out of your accounts. That is, they put the part-time, but they have not taken pay for over 6 months. So I also align that the national government, because national government is the one who is responsible to pay teachers here. So we can have instructors come here sacrificing. Some of them don't have vehicles, some of them are challenged. They will pay their way, they come here to impart knowledge in the students. At the end of the day, they have their own children that are schooling. They also need to take care of their family in their home. They don't have their fuel allowances or their late compensation to be able to sponsor their family. That is some of the issues that have led to instructors putting down pen. And I can say to you, it have a negative implication. If we are going to do away with this problem, I think national government took out to be very effective and function in meeting up with our obligations.
Great. The second question is, I don't know whether you follow government or governance. You are aware that we want. Great. So tell me your own assessment, your own reading of the Boakai Kung's government. What can you say? Are we on par? Are we sleeping? Or we still have time in our favor?
Any young man who have the opportunity to face the interview we come up back, I think you have been disingenuous to yourself, and you have been very you are a disappointment to the society. Looking at the current prevailing situation that Liberian people are faced with, especially looking at the expectation that were given to Liberian people prior to the government coming to being. So any young man who will think in that direction, I think you will not be doing well for yourself, you will not be doing well for the next generation to come.
We are not on par.
So looking at the current
we are not on par at all. We are not on par.
We are not on par completely.
Okay, go ahead.
And in fact, as an individual, from my own perspective or my opinion, I'm highly disappointed in this regime.
Are they still prospect?
Are they still prospect? For me, I will. For example, if you are an administrator and you came to the University of Liberia, we give you all of the camp to be able to confront them and be able to bring a well organized environment for the student community. And you come out of 10 count, you are only able to do one, and I can't consider you to be somebody who have done well. In fact, I will stand against you, I will talk against you, I will not give you any grading. So as per that backdrop, for me, I can't give the government any grading. The government have not performed, the government have performed poorly, the government have not done anything, because, mind you, they came up with a particular caption that talked about rescue. Right? The content of that word rescue, come with a lot of positive implications. It means you should be able to meet the well-being of the Liberian people in terms of economic development. That is meeting up with the economy wherein you provide a suitable environment for people like our market women, our mothers, to be able to have access to buy food at an affordable price, looking at the road condition and looking at electricity availability, and also affordability, looking at all of that. These are things that they put all in together and they consider as rescue. So they came on with the mantra of rescuing the nation. So we expect by now in 6 months time for the government to be able to make a significant progress. Something on the contrary that we are not seeing. So when it comes to migrating to the government, I tell you that the government has not done nothing. The government is zero, and the government needs to wake up.
The government is zero. The government needs to wake up. We are not on path. There's no prosperity. Great. Okay, finally, what do you make of lawmakers riding keke, so that we can get to this gentleman and close up?
Okay, thank you. I think that will be my closing statement. And I want to say thank you again for affording me the opportunity. So when it comes to lawmaker protesting, I think that is a shame to the economy. That is a shame to Liberia. It gave a bad implication of bad image.
They say now they are right to protest for their benefits.
I come in. That's the point I come in to rest. For me, I'm not against the lawmaker protesting for that benefit, because that is something before the lawmakers are setting for that process at the capital there. It was enshrined into the budget, and that is an entitlement. Every lawmaker and currently, but one of the issues that leading to the particular process is a political undertone. It's a political undertone, right? Because if you do your own investigation, you'll notice that people from the upper house, right, that is the House of Senate, some of them have access to their own vehicle. They have that vehicle. Why they say that those who in the lower house don't have access to that vehicle? So that is political, but that is politically undertone by other people from the executive who try to infiltrate in the legislature, in the representative house.
You think so?
In the representative, yeah, on the basis of doing away with the balanced government structure that we have, based upon the election result that came, and looking at the structure from the executive angle, we got the ruling United Party, and from the House of Legislature, you have the party that just left power, the CDC, dominating in the both House of Senate and that of the House of Representatives, right? So that aspect of lawmaker protesting, for me, I'm not against it. It is an entitlement because it's been enshrined within the budget. But where the executive should do everything possible to
do you think the ride keke is the best way to do it?
What?
To ride keke.
So in a situation where people don't feel satisfied, they prescribe or they come up with their own way of protesting or responding to the current situation. So if you ask me for the lawmakers, I think they are also many people. There are people who school, some of them are veterans of the university. So they decided to take that other stage of protest. There are some people who will go in the street to go chung rock. There are other people who will go burn houses, like you can recall recently in
the lawmakers have constitutional power that talks about oversight. You don't need to rack again, just send for the Minister of Finance and asking. So that's why I'm asking that question.
Yeah, so if you see the lawmaker going that route of riding keke instead of taking the referral proceeding by maybe someone in the finance minister, that tell you that they have been making effort, but it means their effort not been recognized. So like I said, it is politically on tune, where there are people who from the executive who try to bring or split in the house there. They're trying to see our best to strangulate the speaker, for the speaker and colleagues to go against him, so that they can feel that he can be the best person to represent them. So on that basis, they try to strangulate him so that he can be able to be removed from that particular position.
Thank you. Your name again?
So I'm Afari Ba, a student of administration at the University of Liberia. Thank you for the opportunity, and say thanks to our listening audience.
Thank you. So finally, as we close, let me speak to again a very familiar face. To me, welcome. How you doing? My name is Prince. This is Focus on Liberia Television. How you doing?
Thank you so much. My name is Lee Harris, student of the University of Liberia, reading public administration.
Great. So I'm sure you got some vast knowledge on how this university operates and run. What's your take? What's your perspective on this consistent closure of the university, reopening? So now in the semester you close twice or so. What do you make of that?
It is all because of lack of support.
Okay.
So if the University of Liberia had the support that they're supposed to have to run the university, trust me, you're going to have the university running.
But because what do you mean, from where?
When we talk about support from central administration to the University of Liberia, that is one of the things that serves as an impediment that the university is every 2 semesters, 1 semester, so now you will have to close 2-3 times before school close. We go, come back, open, come back, open, come back before the semester, and we have closed almost 2 or 4 times. So because of lack of support from central administration to the university, that is causing us the delay here. And there are people who came to the university. University actually is for, undergraduate is actually 4 years. But there are people who came here, they tell you that they have spent 10, 15 years here.
How does it affect the student?
It affects the student because there are people who are supposed to graduate from here, go outside there, some of them have master come back here and contribute to the developmental agenda of this country. But because the environment has kept them here, they cannot have the opportunity to go outside to learn and come back and contribute to national development. So that alone, it is serving as an impediment on this country. But now some of us that enter here, we're supposed to be out of this place. But it's never the case, because we enter here, COVID came. When COVID came, that was not something that maybe government brought in. Everyone went by south. We came back to school. By the time we came back to school, there was nothing like instructor salary. They closed, compulsory closed. So at the end, you find out that many of us here who's supposed to spend 4 years, we have spent 5 years, 7, 8 years here, still trying to obtain an undergraduate degree.
Great. So the second question I want to ask is the governance system of our country. You follow politics religiously. Give me your own assessment.
Well, if you follow the election of 2023, the campaign of our people was, we are going to rescue this country. We are going to rescue this country. Look, Prince, you cannot leave from here. You go and inform your parents that you're going to build a house. In the process of going to build a house, you don't even have a block. You do not even have a cement. You do not even have what we call materials to start to build a house. If government, the United Party government was campaigning on the trajectory that they are going to rescue this country, by this time, we think that those mechanisms should be in place now. We're supposed to be seeing some of those physical things on ground. But silent for all, it is on the contrary. But they are still telling us that, look, at this particular time, during the election, you told us, say you're going to rescue. After the election, when you are declared the winner of the election, you say we must manage our expectations. You see the contradiction. You say, during the election, give our power that we are going to rescue you. Right after the election, when they declare you winner, you say, you know what happened? Why the shooter we're going to rescue you, but want you to manage your expectation? That alone is a contradiction by itself. Why we think the government is supposed to be doing that at this time? Those things that they have in place to have it brought in this country that they will be able to rescue the Liberians, we're supposed to be seeing some other things vis-a-vis.
What do you make of others who are saying it's still soon? We just gone 6 months, 7 months, and the government say young.
What is that definition for soon? Because we are in the 7 months, 7 months of this year. You talk about January 22nd, right? By this time, you should be telling us that, look, we have one or two companies that have come in this country, that young people, have job now. They have job. They are doing this. This is what they are doing. We look at the floor system in this country. In Monrovia, that have taken over the entire country. So why are those playing? The first thing we need to ask is, why are they playing before you talk about rescue? You must have a plan. Those plans that you have, are you effecting those plans? We are saying no. If you have other young people right now, they will tell you the country there's no job in this country. Absolutely.
Are there anything different from the pro-poor agenda and the rescue? What can you say?
Well, during the pro-poor agenda, we have at least some of the young comrades here will tell you that, look, during the time when we come into class, we have one or two things. When we come here, we say, "Mama, compare, let's compare note." By this time, you have to ask anybody say, "Come here, let's compare note." Or tell you, "Come here." There's no note to compare. At this time, there's no note to compare. Okay. We come to class here, we sit there. If there's nothing doing, we come right here. We just talk, we drink water, and then be able to go. But because there's no note to compare. Previously, we had note, I think we used to compare note. But this time, there's nothing to...
But maybe others are comparing that you do not know. Because it's our change government. People got friends.
Prince, we have been here, we have been around for some time. We know many of the young, comrades here. They know us. We know exactly what we are talking about. We know the constraint that many of the young people go through on a daily basis, even before coming to the University of Liberia. During that time, you have bosses. Many of the bosses are parked now. They had to pay their own way. People had to pay their own way to come to school.
Great.
Especially those of our brothers who live far.
Great.
So those are some of the things that is happening. So the government need to get serious.
So what's the grading?
If you have to ask me between, I don't know what would be the range.
That's what I'm asking you.
From 5 to 10? If you are to ask me 5 to 10, I'll get
from 5 to 10.
5 to 10, I'll get them 2. I'll get the government 2.
Okay, great. Finally, as I take leave of you, you also follow the legislature. What do you make of this other topic or debate that have taken social media, where 5 members of the House of Representatives ride on keke to work? They say they are going to protest for their delayed vehicle to be purchased by the government.
So, Prince, if you were to ask me, look, our people need to be serious. Our lawmakers need to be very serious.
Okay.
The issue, if you were to ask me, I think it would be fine that even those are all from the level of the University of Liberia, we can put together, we'll buy each one of them at least second-handed bag. Second-handed bag to be using it to go to work. You cannot be at this particular time, you're looking at the constraint that we are facing in this country. You are not talking about $45,000 just to buy a car.
What does it signify?
It signifies
they
do not mean well for the Liberian people. During election period, these are the same people who are going to the community and campaign that if I were to go there, don't benefit, I'm going to call it down. When you go there, by the time they get there, everything changed. Many of them, if you have to ask them right now, what was your campaign message during the election when you're contesting to be representative, they tell you that I told them when I go there, I'm going to call my benefit down. When I go there, I'm going to call the issue of salary down. When I get there, the issue of benefit, I'm going to call it down. But I ask them today, has it changed? Yes. Has it changed? Yeah. So, like somebody said, it is just a new one putting it in old bottle. That's what we have there.
Another side of the argument is this is legitimate benefit. It's in the budget. It was passed by the House and the legislature.
Who places that? It is the same people. The budget comes from the executive mansion, go to the House of Representatives for allocation. It is the same people who say, you know what happened? Look at this particular. You are, as a lawmaker, you got 3 functions. Oversight, lawmaking, and representation. You say you want to undertake project. You allotted 100,000. Each lawmaker allotted 100,000 that they want to go in their own district to undertake a project. What about the project? The government is supposed to be national government or the executive is supposed to be implemented in your district. So the best thing to do it is the issue of rule. You call the Ministry of Public Works. Look, we allotted this money. We want to know how it is being used. But for a lawmaker not to be demanding that he want to undertake his own project, The executive undertake their own project. I don't know where we are heading as a country. So with the issue of 45,000, I'm asking, we want to rally around students from the University of Liberia. We can vote for them. We can be able to stay in our gap. We look for, we put money together. If they're second-handed back, we can give it to them. We look for the play, the same play that they're using on those keke. Because in fact, keke will take 3 person, 4 person. But motorbike, at least US security said 1 year ago. If we continue to do that, it will signify that indeed when you get to that particular area, you need to be serious. You should not just be thinking about yourself. You should not be thinking about 45,000 a year at a particular point in time when the University of Liberia students do not even have bus to ride to come to school. When you have instructors laying down chalk where they have to protest for their salary before they get back to classroom. If you are doing well for us, it means that you should not be talking about getting 45,000 a year. Get a wrap. Secondly, if the guys are talking about 45,000 a year, I wanted to come up with a new policy. The policy now would be the same way that a minister will use a car, and when he leave that car there, let the insurance policy within the House of Representative that a lawmaker in year time you buy 45 or 90,000 a car. When you are leaving, please leave it there. Because in 3 year time you say after every 3 years you should buy 1 car. After every 3 years you buy 1 car. 45 and 90,000. Then the last year when you are going, you carry no car. When you go to the election, you lost the election, no car for you. Then the next time you ask the representative, you ask the minister, the car that he use, the minister will leave it there. The next minister will come and use that car. So where are we heading? These are the people that are serving us.
Thank you so much. Your name again?
My name is Lee Harris, student of the University of Liberia.
And from which college?
Public administration, student of government.
Thank you so much. So folks, have you been following? My name is Prince. So this is how we let it call it a day on this live broadcast. I've been here at the University of Liberia main campus here. That is a Capital Bypass campus, speaking with university students, getting a perspective on national issues. My name is Prince. Thanks for following. To join us another time for another live broadcast. This is Focus on Liberia. Until then, be good. Love Liberia. Bye-bye. I'm out.